The manager, what do they bring? They bring strategy, opportunities. Sometimes they bring funding. Do they own the masters? Almost never by default, right? Unless they inserted themselves into the ownership via contract, right? Because managers, what they typically earn is about 10 to 20%, right? Not ownership. They don't have it like that, right? Investor, what they bring, the money. Do they own the master? Not automatically, unless the agreement says equity in the master or ownership. They're just owed back their money legally. Okay, good. The label, what do they bring? They bring the money, they bring the marketing, they bring the distribution. Do they own the master? Most of the time. Why? Because they make you sign it. We own the master recordings. Okay. Now, scenario one, producer just leases the beat, right? Example, the producer says, hey, here's my beat for $200. The artist buy the lease. He records his vocals independently. He pays for the mix. He releases it himself. Who owns what? The producer owns the beat and the composition rights and the publishing share sometimes publishing share. The artist owns the master recording. Now, why? Because the producer only licensed the instrumental. The producer did not produce the session, fund the recording, structure the release, or claim master ownership. He has to claim it, right? This is the important lesson. This is the most common independent situation. The producer owns the beat and the artist owns the master. That's the most common one. I don't see the link, Miss Julia. Okay, hold on 1 second, love. Let me see. Oh, sorry. I think did I do it? Maybe not. Sorry. Sorry. Yeah, you can come up anytime, you guys. Well, let me start you. Let me start. Yeah. Come up because we soon finish teaching and we can talk in between. So you can come up anytime. Let me know when you're ready. Come up now if you want. Right? So the producer didn't claim master ownership. So this is the important lesson. This is the most common independent situation. Producer owns the beat and artist owns the master. Okay. Now, scenario two, the producer produced the entire session. Now let's change the structure. Okay. The producer made the rhythm, he booked the studio, he directed the recording, he hired the engineer, he funded the session, he arranged the release. The artist came and voiced. Now what? This becomes much more complicated because now the producer is not just the beat maker. Now they may function like the executive producer. They might be functioning like a label. They might be functioning like a project owner. So who owns the master here? Depends on the agreement. Here's the possibilities. The artist owns the master. The producer gets producer's royalties, publishing, and beat rights. Another possibility, the producer and the artist co-own the master. Right? Like Dre, exactly. Example, 50-50 split. Exactly, Des, right? Or C, producer owns the master. Right? One of these possibilities would happen. Good. I don't see you calling in, Mr. Gaza. I don't see you at all. So this happens a lot in certain music systems, especially where the producer funds everything, right? And the artist is newer, right? And the artist just voiced on the producer's project. And this is huge in dancehall because dancehall historically is producer driven, not artist driven in a lot of ways. In that, why I say that? Why do you say that, Ms. Julia? Okay, I'll tell you why. Because in dancehall, the producers often used to control the rhythm, the studio, the release, the dub plates, the distribution, the pressing, the radio relationships. It's facts, right? The artist just voiced on the rhythm. So here's some important historical reality, because you know I always like to draw from history. All you people in the bush, please like the live. Thank you. Right? In our classic dancehall culture, right? The producer, them often acted like a label. They often acted like the financier They often acted like the distributor, the studio owner, and the rhythm owner all at once. Right? They wore many hats. Right? So what do you think happened, Fire Nation? What do you think happened with that? The producer often controlled the master, even if the artist was the star voice. Big up yourself, Garnet Reed. Big up yourself, my Gaza brother and Fire brother. This is why I said producers often have more power than artists realize. Because the artists think, I sang the song, so it's mine. But the producer may control, and listen to what I say, control the files, the rhythm, the release, the radio, the licensing, and the distribution. Okay? Right. Now, owning the beat gives leverage. Why? Because without permission to use the beat, like I was saying before, the master, again, the final recording may be unusable. Why? Why is that? Think of it this way. You're building a house on land. The beat and the rhythm is the land. You build that whole recording off of that rhythm, off of that beat. So if I come back to you for my foundation from inside of your yard, what do you think we happen? You want to ask, what are you going to do? Okay, man, somebody to come back for them steel pipe outside of your block and your arm. Your block and your arm and your metal rod them from out of your wall. Right? It's madness. So that's what I'm saying. So it's foundational, right? Good. So where was I? Where was I? Yeah, so right. So you somebody beat without their permission, dog name and support. Okay? Because your master recording will become unusable. Right? Example, the producer owns a rhythm, right? And the artist record the vocal without permission and say, oh, I own the master because I record it and blah, blah, blah. No. Maybe they own their vocal recording, but they cannot legally exploit the song properly because the beat usage is unauthorized. So the producer now has the power. Not because beat ownership automatically means that you have master ownership. That's why I wanted to get this clear because I heard somebody was with that on one of the platforms this week. Right? No. But because the master itself depends on that beat, which was the producer's copyrighted work. That's why. So that is the key fire insight I want you to get. Right? So that when you can have different scenarios, you won't get tripped up. Right? Because you understand the principle. The principle of it is, right? Because the master is built upon the beat at the stage.